pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Kylie, do we have any public comments?
We do not.
Oh, roll call. Everybody's here. Rick?
I'm here.
Gary?
Here.
Amanda?
Here.
My wing lady? And I'm here.
I'm
Everybody's here. Okay, in closed session, number one, we're going to do people personnel expulsion case number 1, 2324, and vacate expulsion case EXP number 11, 22 to 23. Number 2, conference on litigation, government code section 54956.9, current litigation, 9 cases, CIVDS 1907172, CIVDS 2011183, CIVDS 2022956, CIVSB 2111303, CIVSB 220303, CIVSB 2218676, CIVSB 2227023, CIVSB 2304865, CIVSB 2314073, Government Code Section 54954.5 and 54956.9, and anticipated litigation 1 case, 2020-21-05, Government Code Section 549545 and 54956.95, anticipated litigation 1 case, claimant, Pareda, Kathy. Number 3, public employees, discipline, dismissal, release, reassignment, transfer, leave, title, certificated and classified employees. Number 4, public employees, appointment, resignation, retirement, reduction, title, certificated and classified employees. Number 5, conference with labor negotiator, agency negotiator, Dustin Conrad, employee organization, Apple Valley Unified Teachers Association. Number 6, conference with labor negotiation, agency negotiator, Dustin Conrad, employee organization, CSEA. Conference with labor negotiator number 7, agency negotiator, Trinae Nelson, employee organization, unrepresented. Number 8, conference with real property negotiator, Government Code 54956.8, negotiation parties, Matthew Schulenberg, Apple Valley Unified. Security matters, Government Code Section 54957, consultation with the Apple Valley Unified School District, Chief of Police. Number 10, superintendent evaluation. I'd like to ask for a motion now to go into closed session.
So,
All right,
Second.
second. All right, Amanda, all in favor? Aye. Okay, see you in a couple hours. All right, we'll bring the meeting to order. We have reports from student representatives from Phoenix Academy, Jaslyn Mejia, and Zoe Guerrero. The mic's yours.
I'm gonna do this once while you're. I got you. Delegate.
Good evening, I'm Jasmine Mejia, President of ASB. And I'm Zoe Guerrero, ASB Vice President. We're thrilled to talk about our amazing school year with you this evening. Phoenix Academy is a school that goes from TK up to 8th grade. Since last year, we've had lots of improvements to our campus, such as new water fountains with water bottle filling stations, several new and amazing staff members, and lots of new technology. The new technology includes microphones, Apple touchscreen TVs, and new projectors in every classroom. We've had lots of fun learning with the new technology, and the teachers have had even more fun using the new microphones.
Phoenix is offering several clubs to students, including lots of last year's favorites. Some of these include Yearbook, Esports, Art Club, and Club Live. We've also added clubs like Movie Club, Phoenix Connections, Yoga, Trivia, and Lego Club. Speaking of clubs, Club Live just had their suicide prevention awareness activity on September 26th, where we dedicated an entire wing to educate students on suicide prevention and ways to get help. We also had activities and a photo op. Along with Suicide Prevention Week, we also had other opportunities to educate students on other awarenesses around campus.
ASB recently hosted their Welcome Back dance with over 260 students in attendance. It was the best turnout we've had in years. Our snack bar sold out, and we are very excited for our next dance. ASB also has other dances such as the Christmas dance and the 8th grade dance. We have had several spirit days, but our favorite was Color Wars. Our lower campus students did an amazing job showing their spirit and definitely have a thing or two to teach to our upper campus students. A unique thing about Phoenix Academy ASB is that we also participate in our AVID program. AVID is off to a great start and are looking forward to our upcoming Off to College Fair and UCLA game. As well as our Knott's Berry Farm AVID trip, we've been working hard on learning tutorials, keeping our binders organized, and learning note-taking strategies. It's not always easy, but we know it's worth it.
Sports are also back. We just announced the boys and girls volleyball teams and can't wait for the season to start this month. We invite you all out to see what makes our Phoenix students out on the court and then later when basketball returns.
We are looking forward to the end of the first trimester and our award ceremonies, celebrating students for academic excellence and being outstanding peers to each other. We are looking forward to some fun planned field trips like last year to Topgolf, SoFi Stadium, Big Al's, and some other opportunities still in the works.
Tonight, many families are at our STEM night and AVCI learning about different areas of science and technology. While they are able to participate in scientific experiments, this month we will celebrate Red Ribbon Week, and our fall festival should be a fun time for all our students and their families.
Please know that Phoenix rocks because you rock.
Next, from High Desert Premier Academy, Ismael Solis.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You start? All right, sorry. Good evening, President Bender, board members, Superintendent Nelson, and Executive Cabinet. It's good to see you all again. Last board meeting, I was super nervous. I still am. It's just public speaking that gets me. It really is nice to see you all. Know all is doing well. There's a few things I want to go over about our school High Desert Premier. October is National Bullying Awareness Month. Our counselors are meeting with every class to bring awareness to bullying with various social lessons. 1 in 5 children admit to being bullied. How does it premier's enrollment? We currently have 292 students, and we have 4 students that already meet the requirements for graduation. There's 12 students that will be graduating this October at the end of the semester. And sorry, I just drew a blank. Our office has been working hard to reach out on families to increase the completion of data confirmation requests in ARIES. It has been successful so far. We have had a 50% increase since last month. Great job, ladies. Ms. Boykins, our 7th and 8th grade teacher, is going to create a garden club named the Green Thumb. They're going from October to May. Ms. Boykins, Ms. Marcus, and Ms. Knapp have created the garden club. 8th and 7th graders have planted the pumpkins in early August. We also have a new teacher, Ms. Gonzalez. She's in room 3, and she's our new ELA teacher. We have an upcoming field trip this Friday, and it's at VVC October 6th. Thank you for all your time and support. I can't wait to see you all at our next meeting, and have a great fall break.
Thank you. Grand Hills High School, Hannah, forget.
Good evening, board members, executive cabinet, and attendees. My name is Hannah Forget, the junior class president at Granite. I spoke to you all last month and will be here for the rest of the year to be speaking to you guys and updating you on what's happening around Granite Hills. I am very excited to get to know all of you throughout the school year. Since I last spoke to you, so many wonderful things have happened at Granite. In September, we had a freshman tailgate party hosted by our link crew. There was free food and face painting for all of our leaders and freshmen, and as a leader, I would say the face painting and food was actually really good, And we also had some Granite merch on sale from our ASB. It was a huge success, and our link crew has many other events planned, including a movie night and a link crew conference for our leaders. ASB has been very successful and very busy. ASB has launched a student section at our home varsity football games with themes like Neon Out USA and Pink Out Rodeo for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. On September 20th, we had our first community pep rally, and the turnout was incredible. Many parents and students came out to support our school. Our clubs made great connections with the community, which was huge. It started with the band and choir singing the alma mater, choir solos, dance, cheer, and then football came up and performed their pregame chant. We hope to turn this into a yearly tradition, and we want to say thank you to Towns End for helping us and for all the support. At our homecoming game, we had cars driving around with our homecoming royalty winners, and our football team beat Grand Terrace. On the 23rd, we held our homecoming dance, and the theme was Sugar Rush. We had 2 vendors, J&R Tacos and Kona Ice, and the students absolutely loved it. We used a new DJ who was great. To help promote school spirit, we've had weekly lunchtime rallies with music, games, and giveaways. Right now, Yearbook has been out there every day this week promoting National Yearbook Day with Spirit Week and giveaways, including a free yearbook as a prize. Our performing arts classes have also been very busy. Our grade academy was able to go to the old AMC theater donated to the town to give their input on what they want to see the building turned into. And last Friday, 18 students from our specialized guitar 2 and 3 and piano 2 and 3 classes were selected to participate in the Future Music Business Conference at the Skirball Cultural Arts Center in LA. The students were able to speak and hear speeches from professionals from companies such as TikTok, Sony Music Group, Netflix, Disney, Spotify, and more. There are multiple panels to provide insights on music, digital technologies, AI's impact, and more to give musicians and aspiring ones and the students the information that they need to navigate the music industry. Last week, 4 of our students attended the Skills USA California Fall Leadership Conference. They attended many workshops and were able to grow their leadership skills. As for upcoming events, on Wednesday the 25th from 5 to 10 p.m., theater will be hosting a fall festival, including a haunted house, pumpkin painting with ASB, booths from other clubs, food, and more. And on Halloween, we will have our first big pep rally of the year. There will be door decorating contests and a student versus staff costume contest. We also have our Powder Puff game coming up for the junior versus senior girls on October 20th. As for sports, all of our teams are doing well. Our varsity football team is 5-2 with a game tomorrow at the AVUSD Stadium. Varsity volleyball is 9-11, water polo is 2-5, and girls tennis is 3-6. As always, we thank you for your support of Granite Hills High School and look forward to sharing more with you next month. Maroon and Gray, lead the way.
Apple Valley High, Sophia Brandt.
All right, I think that's good. Okay. Good evening, members of the board and attendees. My name is Sophia Brandt, and I'm the Apple Valley High School Associated Student Body Line President. Today, I'll be sharing with you what our students and staff have been up to the past month, as well as what our goals are for October. Last time I spoke to you, the Apple Valley High School community was getting ready for one of our biggest events of the year, our bell game. We weren't really concerned about losing, but our win was still a staggering one. With a score of 62-20, this marks 12 consecutive wins for AVHS. This game was sponsored by the U.S. Marine Corps, who highlight historic games in their American Rivalry Series. They awarded the Player of the Game award to quarterback Noah Seeley and helped cheer and ASB pass out t-shirts to lucky members of the crowd, which I've noticed sometimes gets them louder than any touchdown will. The Pep Squad held our junior cheer camp program where we paired up with younger AVUSD students from grades kindergarten through 5th grade. The girls learned 2 dances and 3 cheers and performed with us during 3rd quarter at our Thursday night game last week. It was a blast, and we love helping inspire young girls and practice our leadership skills. Volleyball had their Dig Pink games on Tuesday with a bake sale to raise money for breast cancer. We named our September Athlete of the Month, Emily McKinley from cross country, who has been a top finisher in every race. Congratulations to all of our Sun Devil athletes. Our clubs and pathways have also been busy. Key Club participated in the Apple Valley Community Cleanup, and we picked up 17 bags of trash. Political literacy has been holding lively debates on Fridays and plans to have one between our teachers. So let me know who else wants popcorn when we go watch. Mass held their blood drive last Friday and collected about 250 units of blood. Many of our CTE programs got the chance to visit our old AMC theater and discuss the future of the building. Our students are always making a difference. ASB has been hard at work, hosting the super fun 50s diner-themed back-to-school dance, Powder Puff, where the class of 2024 won for our 2nd year in a row, and Color Run, where we got covered in every color of the rainbow and raised money for organizations all over campus. Another event that we've put a lot of effort into this year is Hispanic Heritage Month, which comes to a close this week. To kick it off, we hosted the band Grupo 760, who performed for us during passing periods and lunch, featuring one of our own Sun Devil students. It was amazing to have live music and see our community twirling and dancing in Sun Devil Circle. Then we celebrated the next 2 Wednesdays with crafts and food. Students made flower headbands inspired by Frida Kahlo's self-portraits, as well as papel picado, which is the traditional Mexican tissue paper art decorating ofrendas for Dia de los Muertos. After school, students and staff enjoyed tacos, aguas frescas, and sweet ice cream treats. We're hosting 2 games de loteria. The staff game was yesterday, and it was very cutthroat, and the student game is tomorrow. Today, we had the amazing Irma Aguilar speak, who opened Baile Folclórico Flores del Desierto, the first and only traditional folkloric Spanish dance studio in the high desert. She told our students about the importance of preserving culture and the beauty of storytelling through dance, and she was able to reunite with one of her old students, who is Señorita Flores, one of our Spanish teachers. In the upcoming month, we will recognize some of our outstanding seniors with academic letters. Choir is planning their Monster Bash, which combines a haunted house and performance to celebrate Halloween. Key Club is volunteering at the Apple Valley Air Show on our first Saturday of fall break at the ripe hour of 6 a.m. We will have our homecoming game and dance with the theme Dancing in the Moonlight, and students from our different pathways have started coming to school on Saturdays to prepare for something Apple Valley High School excels at, Skills USA. We've had such great success in the past, and we can't wait to see what this year holds. There are so many exciting things happening at Apple Valley High School, and I want to thank all of you for your continued support. We couldn't give our students any of these incredible opportunities without you. Please enjoy a restful and restorative fall break, and thank you for your time.
Reports, California School Employees Association, Nicholas Garrett. Apple Valley Unified Teachers Association, Karen Sabers. Comments? Superintendent Trinae Nelson.
Maybe the mic will go on. The mic will go on. I know it's hard to follow the students and the phenomenal presentations that they do, even a first time at it. You did a wonderful job. Phoenix Academy rocked it. I know that we talked about the bell remaining at Apple Valley High School, but I did show up at a county meeting in jeans and my bell shirt, and the superintendent from Victor Union was there, not in green. And I razzed him in front of the entire San Bernardino County superintendents of all the school districts about how he should be representing. He did show up at the game in a green polo, so we did take pictures, so he was a good sport. But I had tried to stop at Victor Union District to go take a picture with one of our board members who was secretly wearing orange in front of a Victor High sign, and I thought it would be fun to get my picture with her. But I got called back to the district on my way back from the meeting, and so I couldn't do it. But there is photo evidence. I've seen it, and I'll let her share about that later. Mr. Arce and I attended the Patriot Day at Rio Vista School. Sergeant Sean Strubing with the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department was the MC. Jennifer DeBar played Amazing Grace on the bagpipes, which some of our kids have never experienced that. It was a little bit touching to me. They thought they were alumni from the same graduating class of Glendora High School that I was. It wasn't. I was older than they were. But we had a tie there. And it was wonderful to have her up in the desert and playing for us. Glendora, our own Tim Ekstrand, who's a retired school psychologist, also got up and sang Bring Him Home. And then all of our fire, police, and military were up on the stage to represent and to be there for Patriot Day. Sergeant Strubing taught the kids that a story about this means I love you, but that a child that lost his voice and just because of a disability, that he would always say he loved them until he couldn't say it anymore. And then he did this and said, I love you too, so the whole crowd was waving their fingers forward. So if you see me at some point, do that to you and wave. I'm not being weird. It's just what I do. So we all kind of picked it up. Been able to be out at the schools and watching girls tennis at both high schools and volleyball. MAST they did their academy inductions in the month of September. VVC is currently collaborating with Apple Valley Unified School District to pilot a work experience program that is not offered at other school districts right now. And though the fingerprinting issue that we've been dealing with for our CTE programs may get resolved soon, we're excited that this may be a collaboration that we can continue. We have been working on the facilities master plan, and we had meetings in the district a couple weeks ago with Eric Hall and Associates. We had lots of participants that gave great information about what needed to happen on each school site to make improvements for what this school serves. And then today we had our initial meeting. I'm looking at Mr. Bender for the Granite Hills High School group to meet with the architects regarding the facilities for a stadium. And so it was a small starting group. And then as they move forward to bring in the community, they have at least heard what the coaches and administrators and athletic directors have as an interest for that facility. Vanguard waitlist is now live online. Families have the ability to see where they stand. Something that has been long in the making, and I appreciate Bethany Thompson, who's a teacher on assignment in digital learning, and also a Vanguard teacher teaching French to our middle school students. And she took what we asked her to do and made it run. So it's live today. We definitely will have a few questions. People that are associated as members of the school district on the waiting list need to be tagged appropriately, and kids that have siblings are already tagged. And then we are participating in what's called a community engagement initiative. We applied to be part of it. It has to do with community schools, and it is a statewide endeavor. Districts were selected, and we're one of just a few in San Bernardino County. This will cause the team to grow, and both unions have been invited as far as the presidents. They may select somebody to send in their place, but we believe AVUSD will participate as Karen Savers being the president, and Nick Garrett is very interested as well. This will also include a member from the town of Apple Valley. It'll include parents and students. Once they commit, there are 8 sessions this year, 3 of which are virtual. The other 5 are in a location. We are assigned Anaheim Union High School District as our partner. They're ahead of us in the community schools endeavor, and they will help us to work through the next steps. And then you heard that Phoenix was at AVCI tonight, but it's a joint venture for Phoenix Academy students and Sandia students for their family STEM night. So they're all over there together enjoying all of the things. And then you know how I love little kids and what they say, the best part of schools. I'm going to finish with a quote from Beckett, Kylie's first grade son. Hey, Mom, the DO called. They want my artwork. We did call. We did want their artwork. He just happens to be in a class after school, ELOP, where his artwork was selected, and it's up here in the district office. So I just say that because these after school programs are impacting children all over the place. And you've heard about the clubs and the different things. They matter. We're glad they're happening, and we appreciate the staff and students that are participating. Not just the staff and students, but the student workers that are participating as well. So thank you.
Thank you. Board comments, Rick?
Sure, thank you. Well, Jaslyn, Ismail, Hannah, and Sophia, good job as always. Ismail, you said you were nervous, but you did really good. So you've got a bunch more to go. So by the end of this school year, you're going to be an old pro with this. So we're going to keep watching you. So good job. And Sophia, I know you probably didn't have anything to do with painting the V on Hospital Hill orange, but it got a lot of play on social media there. So it looked really good. So when I went to Apple back in the 70s, we used to do the same thing. So keep the tradition going. And as we listen to Superintendent Nelson, there's a lot of great things going on in the district. And we just want to thank everyone for their good work. And a shout out to our police department as well. We had a report in closed session on all the calls for service that they've been handling. And it's overwhelming, but it's great to hear that we have a good, safe community for the schools. So I want to just say thank you to that. And that's all I have, Mr. President. Thank you.
Very good. Okay, Amanda?
All right, thank you. Yes, I could definitely see the V turn orange from right outside my classroom. I watched it throughout the day, and then it slowly started to turn white, and then the green came back by the end. But I did send a text because in the morning she texted me and she's like, I want to see pictures. And I said, why do I feel like I'm breaking the law? Because I was out there, like I drove in and I'm like at the stadium trying to quick take pictures by myself, which, yeah, selfies in the morning. But I got it. There was evidence. I posted it. I'm going to read the first part here. So I did want to wish all of the principals a happy National Principals Month. I did recently read an article that was called How Principals Affect Students in Schools. And the Wallace Group was looking back at 2 decades of research. I know this is going to be boring, but they determined that the impact of an effective principal has likely been understated. In fact, the impacts are likely both greater and broader than previously believed. Greater in the impact on student achievement and broader in affecting other important outcomes, including teacher satisfaction and retention, and student attendance and reductions in exclusionary discipline. All of this to say that we are very grateful to have each of the principals that we do here in Apple Valley. And thank you for all that you do for your students, your staff, and your families. So thank you and happy National Principals Month. I did want to give a shout out to Emily. So she is on the custodial team over at Rio Vista. But she is such a joy, and I just have to give a little story. So like,
Let him go right here.
she, the hose kind of exploded on her, and it was like all over. And it was a cold, windy day, and she just had the biggest smile on her face. And she just kind of handed me her phone and was like, "Can you just take a picture of me so I can send this and just say like, this is my day." But she had a smile on her face and she kept going. And she is just such a joy. She's always so happy whenever I see her working. But that I usually see her on Sunday over at Sitting Bull. But she's just always so happy. Anyway, and then I did have one thing that I wanted to ask about, and I apologize because I did mean to ask last meeting. But at our June 1st meeting, we had the discussion about the Ethnic Studies Toolkit Task Force. And I know Mr. RC had brought that one forward. And then we voted for it, or we had the voting item at the next one. And I know we had requested that there be the development of the community piece, and that we kind of get that team started, at least get an interest list going, and perhaps get that reported back like the first month of school. But have we started a community interest list? Have we gotten that, like at least the community piece going? I know like.
No, you have the board workshop when we return the week from October
Right.
break, and then that group will work with us to build the community. They are going to lead this after you have been trained in order to help build the community.
Okay, so we're not even starting, you're not at least getting a
Not
list
until-
of who wants to participate community-wise? Because like, I know we don't need us all to participate, but.
If the direction of the board is for me to start that, I'll do that. I just was waiting until you had heard about the toolkit so that we were sure that we were going to continue down that pathway, and that we had them as the county leading this. They have committed to doing it. And so I wanted you to be trained first, and then we would start that process.
Okay.
But if you'd like me to start gathering names, I'm more than willing to ask principals to, we can put something together with Zoe and get something going.
Okay. No, I knew that we were getting like an overview as the board. I just wasn't sure.
Yeah.
I thought there was also like the community piece for the
Yeah.
task force side. So
I had written down that we were reporting out at the end, at least by the end of the school year, what the outcomes that we had reached at that point. So if I need to readjust the timeline, I'm more than willing to do that.
Okay. All right. That was it then. Thank you.
Okay. Gary?
Just want to commend the students and the teachers and the staff around the Apple Valley District for so many outstanding activities going on this past month. For Mrs. Lasco and her staff at Mariana, Mrs. Heitman and her staff at Sitting Bull, just want to say congratulations on the outstanding after-school programs and elective programs that have been instituted there. A wide array of enrichment classes, things like cooking and auto. There's one of my favorites. Auto, graphic design, cosmetology. I mean, there's such a wide variety of classes being offered that I know are really blessing and enriching our students. So congratulations and thank you. For Mrs. Garrett and her staff at Desert Knolls, Mr. Clark and his staff at Yucca Loma, Mr. Cranston and his staff at Rancho Verde. Just want to commend your schools for your emphasis on attendance. Obviously, students aren't going to be doing very well if they're not on campus in class. So just thank you for your leadership in emphasizing attendance, also for emphasizing the reading interventions. I know so many of our students are being helped in their reading skills by all the various intervention programs that are going on throughout the district. So I just want to call out some of those programs that I had a chance to visit. For Mrs. Watt and her staff at Sandia, just want to commend you for the outstanding corroboration and camaraderie among the staff. For the music program that's newly been started there, as well as the new ag program that's been started there. Congratulations on that. For Mrs. Martinez and her staff at Vanguard, I just want to say congratulations for the success of your dual immersion program, which is such a valuable support for our English learners. And congratulations to your staff for receiving that STEM grant, which you're already using to improve your STEM classroom, your lab room there. For Mrs. White and her staff at Phoenix, thank you for your successful STEM assembly. And it's so great as a former science teacher to see so much emphasis on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And then as our representatives mentioned, for the new technology, the new clubs that are being started there as well at Phoenix. For Mrs. Benitez at Sycamore Rocks and Mrs. Poff at Rio Vista, just want to commend the outstanding school culture, the mutual respect among the staff and the students. And again, as Superintendent Nelson noted, just want to say thank you for Mrs. Poff for hosting the 9/11 Memorial, the Patriots Day. You know, it's been said that on that day, our first responders that all gave some, but some gave all. And that's something we should definitely remember, and that's something we should definitely pass on to our students. And I was so impressed by the behavior of all those students there at Rio Vista. They were so attentive and so respectful and so honoring of what that day represented. So that's a real testimony to the teachers, the parents, and the students. To Mr. Goodrow at Apple Valley. Just wanted to thank you for showing me around and commend you and your staff for the successful implementation of your new, I know this is not a problem on your schools, but a cell phone policy, they've been very successful in instituting a cell phone policy, which is beginning to get a handle on that, as well as a tardy policy. As an old timer, it is nice to see students running to class when there's 60 seconds left. It's nice to see them not just dawdling to class, but actually making an effort to get to class on time. So, Mr. Goodrow and your staff, thank you for your leadership in that area. Also want to commend Apple Valley students Isabella Azevedo, Trinity Cisneros, Natalie DeLeon, Matt Renteria, as well as Granite Hills students Aiden Conrad, Connor Faber, and Hayden Rice for achieving National Hispanic Recognition Awards given by the College Board for these students for their outstanding academics. So congratulations to the students at your site, and thank you for your leadership in those areas. And also visiting around the schools. So many of our schools are participating in the Big Smiles dental program, where our students are being offered dental services that they may well not have had the opportunity to have, by other means. So many of our students, hundreds and hundreds of our students, are being served by that program. So thank you to Superintendent Nelson and all the rest of the staff that have a role in that. That's really ministering to a lot of students here on our campuses. So just really, really big. So much going on around the district that the students, the staff, the parents, administrators have a lot to be proud of. So thank you very much.
Very good. All right, thank you. Maria?
I want to make mine brief. Thank you so much for coming out on a Wednesday. I know that we usually have this on a Thursday, but I thank all of you for making the time to come out on a Wednesday. But I'm going to start with the Bell game. I went to the Bell game. I know nothing about the game. I know absolutely nothing about games. But I was truly, truly lucky to sit right next to Coach Martin. And so he coached me along to tell me how many yards is this? How come we are getting 10 every time? And he's explaining it to me. So it was a great experience to sit next to an icon to tell me how this game works. Because I found myself cheering for the wrong team. And he says, no, it's the wrong team. And so I had to learn real quickly sitting on the sideline. Phoenix Academy, I am thrilled. If I can't begin to explain to you. Many, many years ago, I brought Club Live to this district. Many, many years. And I took kids on trips. And I have relationships built through that. As a matter of fact, there is a football coach at Apple Valley High School who remembered me. I didn't remember him, but he remembered that I pulled him out and gave him opportunity through Club Life. So keep at it, because Club Life is a place for those kids who you normally will not remember, but somebody out there wants to be of service to them. So do all you can. I still have some Club Life stuff, so I'm going to bring it over and drop it off for you. Thank you to Walmart for their donations. Those donations are really helpful when we do a kitchen or a food giveaway. We don't want to forget that they will really help. They are always helpful sending us stuff so that we may give to our community. And I'm going to switch gears a little to show my gratitude to two groups of people that we usually tend to kind of think that they are, they just do what they do. My gratitude is to this cabinet sitting here because they wake up every morning and they come out to serve, and we expect them to serve. But I'm grateful that you are able to do what you do, and most of them have been on this campus since 6:30 in the morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, including the superintendent, and they stay until everybody leaves. So thank you so much for your selfless service to our district. And the other group that we tend to forget are the custodial staff. They do such an outstanding job. When you come on our campuses, you find it really clean. And whatever supplies you need in your classrooms or in your office, they make sure that you have it. My gratitude to all of you. I hope you all have a restful fall break, and we'll see you when you return. Thank you so much.
Thank you. A word to you seniors, 25% of your senior year is gone. Yeah. Ismail, I know you felt bad. You lost your place. Train of thought. Don't worry. Our president does it all the time. And the police report was really good tonight. It shows how we're really a student-based administration, teachers and everybody, to help with food, clothes, physical needs, anything they need. It's really rewarding. They see the other side of education, kids that are living in really a lot worse than you guys are. At this time, you students can go home, hit the books, get that last 25% done. Have a good one. That's good. You do a good job. You're getting better all the time. But you don't know what? Hey, you know what? You'll get it. My boy did the same thing. He'll tell you. My boy did. Yeah, he's off the chart now. Yeah, he's a director with the Bill Gates Foundation. Yeah, makes the big bucks. Yeah. Okay, we're gonna roll this on. We're gonna have Maria, the clerk, read any action that was taken in closed session.
The board deliberations expulsion case number 1, 2324.
Those have their own spot. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Is the wrong spot.
Item I comes a
Closed
little bit
session
later.
report. And the action taken is this one.
Get that readout.
Conference, in closed session, the Board of Trustees took action in support of the following recommendation from the superintendent. Conference on litigation, Government Code, Section 54954.5, subsection D, K Parada versus AVUSD. On a motion by Okpara, seconded by RC, the board voted unanimously to accept and pay the claim of Kathy Parada on a vote of 5-0. Okay. Go.
That's it. Okay, the board may approve the agenda as is or add or pull items from the consent agenda for discussion or action. Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're having a presentation. Mr. Pat Schlosser, Student Services Update.
Taking my cue from Javier.
I'm here briefly to introduce David Wheeler. I was counting up the years we'd worked together. I realized I've worked with Mr. Wheeler in some capacity as my sort of right hand in one realm or another for half my career. So served as assistant principal at Apple High School and now works as director of student services in his 8th year in that role, probably one of the longest serving in the area. And so he's going to give you some updated information. There's samples there. The slides are printed for you as well. And so just a general overview of a incredibly complex part of our system, rife with law and all kinds of complexity of student program. So this will be a general overview, and then we'll stop there at the end for questions. So I'll let Dave take it over, and here you go. Okay.
All right, thank you so much for this opportunity to kind of share what we're doing in student services. Let me move this over. So just, I'll go to the first slide. So as a general overview, what we do in student services is we serve students from pre-K through age 22. And those are the students that have some kind of special need, all right? And those can be a wide range of disabilities from very minor disabilities to those that are quite severe. Within the department, we have the speech and language pathologists who serve the students, as well as our school psychologists that help to identify those disabilities that the students may have by way of assessment. And then we have a very robust nursing services that has really become much more involved since COVID has ended. They all came on as part of our COVID response. And I'll get to that part in the end of this presentation as to some of the things that they're participating in. Mr. Arce mentioned one of them with the big smiles, and I'll give you some numbers on that. It's pretty impressive. In terms of historical growth over the last decade here in Apple Valley, back in 2013 and 14, we had students receiving services. We had 1,572 students. Okay. Here we are 10 years later, and that number has grown by about 250 students. My math serves me right. And so that's a pretty fair amount of growth, considering our enrollment really hasn't changed. It's about the same as it was those 10 years ago, but our demographic of students with disabilities has grown immensely in that time. Just to give you an idea, those students who are in the moderate to severe classes, and I use that terminology because that is the credential that those teachers must have to teach that class, has grown from 8 classes those 10 years ago to 18 classes. And so that is a significant amount of growth. And there are kind of the raw numbers as well of those moderate to severe students. Back 10 years ago, we had about 95 students being served in the district. And now we have 245, which is a significant amount of growth. All 245 of those students will be participating in our field day, which happens every year at Granite Hills High School. I put the date up there for you, and it's in the printouts that you have. March 14th is the Thursday before our spring break, and we would love for all of you to come out and be a part of that. It is an outstanding day. I was not able to attend last year because of a meeting that I needed to attend down in, I believe, San Bernardino, and it was probably the worst day of my year, because that is the best day of the year when you get to attend that event. So please, we would love to have you all come out to that. And I'll send you all a reminder as we get closer to it. Okay, you don't have to keep track of it. So what we've been doing this year, that's it. I turned too many pages. Least restrictive environment is a term that we use in special education. You might hear it as the acronym LRE. And what that basically is that is a requirement of the law for students with disabilities that they be placed in the least restrictive environment. And it is incumbent upon the IEP teams to determine what that least restrictive environment is. So the least restrictive environment percentage of the day that, or the percentage of the day that students spend in the least restrictive environment is monitored by the Department of Education. And it is part of our review each year to see if we have our students in the mainstream or general education as much as possible. There is a continuum of services that do exist where the least restrictive environment is our general education classrooms on the campus that pertains most geographically to the student. And it kind of goes from there, where they then receive, and I'll actually move to the next slide to kind of talk about that more, where this is kind of a pyramid that we put together earlier in this year, this year, to kind of explain that continuum of service as far as what the least restrictive environment can be. So if we look at the bottom tier there, which is in that blue color, it kind of talks about that, where it's the general education classroom, where certainly the teacher will differentiate instruction to make sure they are meeting the students' needs where they're at. And then we kind of continue to move up that pyramid. And you might notice on the right side of that pyramid, all of these interventions are in the classroom. And these are interventions that are made for students with disabilities, students that have an IEP, an individualized education plan. And from the bottom up, we go from least restrictive to the more restrictive as we go up that pyramid. So you can see there in the green tier, general education setting with consultation support of special education teacher. Okay, this may include extra time, special seating, things of that nature to help the students be successful. As we go up, general education setting with in-class support from another adult, maybe a para-educator acting under the direction of a special education teacher, resource teacher. And continuing up, integrated co-teach, which is something we have really integrated more into this school year, as this is an area of growth that we have in our district, where we need to get our students with disabilities in the least in a less restrictive environment, meaning more into the general education setting, as I'll just say it's a very strong area of growth. and so as you can see there, we have co-teach where there are actually two teachers, and that is not one teacher teaching, one teacher helping students. That is an actually rich environment where it's language rich, where both teachers are teaching. They may even be debating in the classroom to kind of stimulate the students' minds to kind of look at the information differently and participate more fully. And I'll tell you, when we started that, and the first co-teach classrooms that we had, at least during my tenure here in the district, was about 5 years ago at Apple Valley High School. And I'll tell you, the input that we got from students that had been basically isolated in classrooms that were just with special education students, when they were able to then go participate with their general education peers, there were statements like, I don't feel stupid anymore. That is a miraculous thing where they can feel, like they're, for lack of a better word, normal, because they've been kind of segregated into those classrooms. And so it is something that we've kind of tried to be thoughtful about as we've moved forward with that plan. And as you can see, the last couple steps there, separate classroom with students pulled out. And that's kind of the model that we've been doing, where our students kind of get pulled out for some services. And then there's, of course, the model where their students are not able to be in the general education at all, and they're in a special day class. So, and kind of going into the push that we have been moving forward this year with inclusion is just that, where we have 6 school sites that are actually integrating that co-teaching model into their campuses. It's not every school site, you'll notice that. Why isn't every school site doing it? Well, like I said, we wanted to be very thoughtful about our approach to this and make sure that it was a successful plan that went forward. And so we wanted to make sure that the principal was able to, at whatever site, we opened it up to all the principals, and we asked them, do you have staff that is ready to do this, that have a passion for this, that are ready to make this change in kind of delivery model. And so that's why you'll see there's only 6 school sites there. And we're hopeful that each year, as the successes continue to come forth, that we'll add more school sites to that, so much so that eventually all school sites will have some kind of co-teaching or other types of inclusion, like I mentioned before, where there's perhaps para-educators that go into the classroom and help students. Because we want students to be in that general education setting. First and foremost, every student is a general education student. And they deserve the right to be in there. And that's our job, is to provide them those services and those supports in that general education setting. Here's a hot topic that you may have heard about in our district this year. SACE stands for Special Education Information System. SACE is going to take over for Web IEP. Web IEP was what our teachers have been using for the past probably about 15 years, I think, to write IEPs, to store the documents for the students that have those IEPs. And this was something that was decided last year that we would be rolling out this year. The SELPA kind of gave us a timeline as far as how that was going to roll out. And to say that it's been bumpy this year is probably an understatement. We have teachers that now have had to write like handwritten IEPs where they haven't done that in about 15 years. I know that has caused some extra stress on the teachers. But I'll say that to kind of help with that, because now we're giving our teachers a new system to write IEPs with, and now they're going to have to write them by hand, which they haven't done in more than a decade. Priscilla Avila, who is our coordinator of student services. I really need to sing her praises here. She has been instrumental in helping to roll out the new SACE program with the teachers and staff. She comes to us from a district where she had used SACE for many, many years and is really our resident expert and very proficient at it. And so prior to us even getting access to SACE, she was holding trainings to kind of help the teachers hopefully lower their anxiety to use these forms and to show them how to fill them out and kind of say, well, this is what the verbiage was in Web IEP, this is what it means in SACE. Up until just last week, we were able to start getting the teachers their login information for SACE. We held 6 trainings over 3 days after school to kind of help them walk them through how to use that software. Certainly, they all know how to write IEPs, but they needed help in kind of navigating the new software. And so that is something that we've done. And out of those 6 trainings, we've trained 130 people. So 92 of those were teachers. So we had a good turnout of that. We will be holding more trainings once we come back from fall break, and those will be during the school day to help those teachers that weren't able to make the after school trainings because of whatever commitments they may have, which is completely understandable. And we will continue to offer support for SACE throughout the school year. Priscilla Avila, like I mentioned, she's been our biggest support with that. She's been offering office hours all school year, before and after school, to help teachers write IEPs in the new format. And we have had many teachers take us up on that. She's also conducted trainings at school sites where there have been teachers that have come in and participated. And so we're hopeful that that when we come back from fall break, we can get the rest of the folks trained and be able to start using that program. And I'm the feedback that we've gotten from a few teachers that we've kind of used as our guinea pigs, if you will, to kind of say, could you use this on an IEP and kind of let us know what you feel might be some feedback that teachers might need help with. And she says that she's in love with the program and it's just so user friendly. But we have to have people use it for them to now have confidence with it. So that is something that is coming. Moving on to we've been holding we've held some parent workshops this year, which has been super cool, honestly, because we've had parents show up and here they are, they may not have a background in education or in special education. And we have provided them with the opportunity to come and learn some techniques and some strategies to help their students. We had a make and take workshop where they came and maybe they made a visual schedule that they can have at home for their students to help them navigate their lives at home, or maybe some other kinds of communication devices or things like that. We had a workshop where we went over IEP processes. And so it's important that we help the parents understand because they don't necessarily have the guidebook on this. And so that's another service that also has been headed up by Priscilla as she oversees kind of our professional development, also of the development of our parents in that way too. The district nurses have really taken on a lot of really cool projects and things as we've transitioned out of the COVID years where they were really just doing COVID testing and counting numbers and whatnot. And CPR certification. So in fact, we had a CPR class going on in the gym while you all were in closed session. So in that group, we had some coaches from the high school that were taking part in that. So they are CPR trained. They're also training new employees with the CPR requirement that they have to be employed. Teachers, if they need it. And they will soon be working with the students in the medical pathways to provide them that CPR training, all free of charge. The district is covering that cost. So that is one cool thing they're doing. Narcan, which we're all familiar with the fentanyl, really crisis that's been going on in the county and really everywhere. That has been distributed at all sites in the AVUSD. 197 people have been trained. It's a voluntary training that they have to say, yeah, I want to know how to use this. Our nurses have trained 197 of those people to administer that life-saving medication. So that's a big rock that was moved. Vaccination clinics has been something that we've attempted to do in the past, and we've had some, but not with the great success that we've had recently. By way of a partnership with the San Bernardino County Department of Public Health and our registered nurses in the district, we have held 9 shot clinics since May of 2023. Now, what those shot clinics are, as you know, there are certain vaccinations that are required for students to attend school. And in the past, because we've struggled to get vaccination clinics here for our students, we've had to exclude students that didn't have those vaccinations. And that's heartbreaking as an educator to say, yeah, you can't come to school. And so we have served 249 students by way of those vaccination clinics with 616 vaccinations because many of them had more than one that they needed. This certainly has minimized the exclusions that have had to occur this year. Most sites have had 0 exclusions. Some sites have had a couple, and they've been able to participate in the vaccination clinic, and they're back in school. So it's been a complete turnaround. A few years ago, we had a few hundred students that we had to unfortunately exclude for a short period of time. And that, like I said, that's heartbreaking. that is not our business to kick kids out of school. So that is a huge rock that has been moved by the district nurses. Like Mr. Arce said, Big Smiles is another partnership with the San Bernardino County Department of Public Health, as well as dentists in really the Southern California region. They have come to the schools and they have helped provide students with dental care that they may not have had access to. And if you'd like to know more about the program, I put the website there, smilesbc.org. So if you'd like to check that out after the meeting, you can. So far, 8 schools have participated in the Big Smiles, and I listed those there, with 332 total students having been seen by those dentists. Every single one of those students received a cleaning. Some received, fluoride veneers or fluoride. I guess they call it veneer treatment, as well as some sealant if their teeth needed it. 30% of those students that were seen received restorative care, and what that means is cavities. The cavities were filled, and many more. Many of those students had many more than just one cavity that needed to be filled, and those were things that were provided on the spot when those dentists saw them. So that is another way that we're helping students stay in school. As the county has identified that dental health is one of the greatest needs across our county. And if they have good dental health, they will also have good health in general, which will allow them to stay in school more. And as the dentists have identified students that needed more in-depth follow-up, our RNs have been following up with them, providing them with other providers that will give that more intensive treatments that they need to get them where they need to be health-wise. Any questions? Sorry, I know I talked a bunch there real quick, but any questions on that? Yes, please.
Not so much a question, but I wanted to say, please tell, it was Priscilla, right?
Yes.
Tell her thank you, because I have been stopped twice at Stater Brothers to listen to complaints about SACE. Yeah. So
Understood. Yeah, we will definitely tell her.
I have a question on SACE.
Yes.
I know this was not something that is a district set up. It's something that SELPA set up. But school started in August, and the IEPs don't stop. So we don't wait for SELPA to get SACE going. So those teachers were busy writing IEPs by hand. Mm-hmm. Now SACE is back on. Who is transcribing their IEP back into SACE? Because this is my issue. When SELPA knew they did not have this ready to go, they should have left web IEP in place until SACE was ready, so that these teachers can continue the process and they can easily transfer it. But now we have a lot of IEPs that were written by hand. Who is transcribing it back into SACE because this IEP is still continuing. Teachers are still doing their IEPs. They really have no time to pause and pull the IEP they've already done into SAYS. So is SELPA going to be responsible for getting that IEP back on?
Yes, so we made that point well known at our monthly steering committee meetings. And SELPA has hired additional clerical staff to input all that information. So it is not going to go back on our teachers.
Thank you.
All right. Any other?
Great job.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we have discussion, information, footsteps to freedom. Superintendent Nelson.
Yes, at this September board meeting, August board meeting, Ms. Okpara had asked about getting the information. I received it after our September board meeting and sent it out to the board. The information was provided to all board members. I just have to have direction from the, in a consensus model from the board if we're going to participate. It includes a cost of $6,450 per participant. It also includes 8 days. Participants have to have a passport because they do travel into Canada. And so if it's the desire of the board for me to put a budget together to do this, then I will work with Mariana Torres in our equity and access as the Director of Equity and Access to identify staff. And I am aware that a board member is interested in going. And if the board gives me direction, I'll move forward. I need some direction from the entire board in a majority fashion.
Okay, I'm going to start with that. I'm going to start with that one. I do know that district participates in all kinds of activities, and we don't usually get involved in the actual decision of curriculum. You do your curriculum and you just let us know and we go for it. There's a whole lot of things that our district is been known to do, and we've never had to have a discussion on whatever it is. We do safe and civil. We never had a discussion. The district tells us that's what we need to do, and we go for it. We've never had to discuss what we do in terms of our AVID or all of the other programs that we have that enhances our educational process. Never have we had to have a discussion as a board on this particular matter. And as I was reading the information that we have under our LCAP, because I have always maintained that my guiding force is that LCAP. And I think Mr. Schlosser did a really good job of putting together the LCAP that is our blueprint as a district. And our blueprint as a district says that we have to do something for LCAP number 6. And this is part of number 6. You cannot learn about a people if you don't want to know what the people went through. So as far as I'm concerned, this should never really be a discussion item. It should really be an item of how are we going to go about it, getting it done. But we don't need to discuss. That's my opinion.
I will do whatever the board directs. The board bylaw indicates that if I have a request from a board member that I provide it out to all board members. And because it was in public session during a board meeting, I followed that guidance. I've sent it back. I just want to make sure that when we make decisions about how, which is staff's responsibility, that we are mindful of the dollars that we are utilizing that are student dollars. And when we do this, we are always focused on those things. And my impact to staff and students is overarching. The cost of this is larger than I have ever sent to staff on anything. Well, it's $6,450 per participant. And I would suggest that if we're going to do this, that we have a process by which I have direction to budget this in the future as well, because if I have 10 slots, which I don't even know if I have, but if I have 10 slots, then I want to be able to continue that process for others that might be interested in that participation in future years as well.
So, to get to Maria's point on discussion, I think it's wise to discuss. I mean, we're talking about sending staff out of the country. So, I mean, this is a little different than, so are we saying we're gonna send 10 people at 6,400?
No, it's $6,450 per participant. That's the cost of the travel. I don't have the information as to other fees that would be associated with that. I think it's an inclusive for that portion for the travel. We as a district reimbursed people to get to the airport. We reimburse parking, those types of things.
So this really isn't a solid figure. It could be up to $8,000-9,000.
Well, I have included a little bit more than just the 6,400. That would have been about $65,000. So I put it as not to exceed 75, just so that we had a budget that was.
Would we send like history lit teachers?
Well, that would be, as we look at this, we haven't made a decision about ethnic studies as to where it will land, what it will look like, whether it will be a standalone class. If you're asking my opinion, I think it should be our history, social science teachers that are at the high school level.
Direct conduit back to the classroom.
And English at 11th grade, because those are the two grade levels that are two courses in 11th grade that would be appropriate for staff to participate in.
So it'd be at the high school level then.
Yeah, initially that would be, truly the goal of this is empathy, right? For a person to have an understanding of what people went through to have freedom.
Right, this is basically the Underground Railroad.
It is.
presentation that the gentleman gave.
We Yeah.
Talked about when,
So it would be your AP US history and
Yeah.
some.
I think if Trustee Buchanan has traveled on that, joined them one time, right?
Yes, but it was probably 8 years ago, and I know it's very different now. So
And I'm more than willing to look at, I mean, the Footsteps to Freedom also has several traveling groups that come to school districts and present. It's not the same as being at a location that's the Underground Railroad. I have visited two of the stops that they've done just because in my early 20s, having taught fifth grade history, I was in Northeast Ohio every summer, and lo and behold, every day that I walked down to the lake, I passed a stop on the Underground Railroad with a placard on it. And I, was amazed that I was standing next to something that I'd only read about.
well, I would be for sending teachers to bring back to teach what occurred. As far as how many, I'd leave that up to the superintendent's office for what you think. I think it's wise that we discuss it though. I think that was a wise move because the amount, we're sending people out of the country, so I'm not opposed to discussing it, but to move it forward, I'd be agreeable to that, my opinion.
I agree with Rick. We can move forward on that.
I do have to have direction for a board member because there is a board bylaw that says the board has to give authority for a board member to participate because of professional development.
Because of the amount of money that is involved, I have already stated outside of this meeting that I was going to go, but I was going to pay my way because I don't want to take money from students.
Well, then you should
for
go.
that.
You really
I
should.
really, because
Yeah.
I don't have the experience. This is brand new experience. I am from another country. I may be whatever it is, but I'm from another country. I want to get to know so that I have better understanding.
Well,
And
think you should go.
I cannot just go ahead and not have an understanding. And this information is coming at people like me. So I'm more than willing to pay my way, like
Yeah.
I said.
Or if the board wants to, it's totally,
We approved to get
okay.
going on this.
does the board, because I know, does the board have a budget set aside for
No.
their?
Not now, we don't. That's why Rick brought it up, that we need to plan on this in the future. We're
No.
just shooting from the hip right now.
Meaning, does the board have a budget that they pull from for professional
Like,
development?
yes, is there a budget set aside at all? for
No,
the
we
board?
have traditionally done California School Board Association. In fact, when Tom was superintendent, there were many years that we didn't travel north for the California School Boards Association. They only did the southern version, so they went every other year. In the recent history, obviously, we didn't go to California School Boards Association when everything was shut down, but we have California School Boards Association. We do as a group, anybody that's interested. And then there are the Coast to Coast has been one that has been added because it's advocacy, and that's limited because they don't always allow more than 1 or 2 board members. And then we do the San Bernardino County California School Boards Association group, and then we do the joint meetings with San Bernardino and Riverside County, and that's usually the training and any other boardsmanship pieces, because that's what is identified in training for board members. So there's no budget for that. Matt sets aside based on the known things that we do.
Well, why don't you, this is an idea, I'll throw that out to the rest of the board. Why don't we, if anybody agrees, you put together a plan where we could send some teachers, that we could develop it into part of the studies for history, and come back with it. How many do you think would be? I wouldn't be opposed to sending Maria if she wanted to go and actually assist, having the district assist in the travel and things like that. I don't think she needs to pay completely out of her pocket.
No.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, some.
I don't want to take away from
some
the
travel or
kids.
something.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's.
So what
you
I'll
put that in
do,
the motion?
you don't need to have a motion. I just have to, I've heard the majority. I saw nods in there, unless there's somebody that wants to say something else. And so what I'll do is I'll provide it to Mariana Torres to get out to those principals, to get out to staff. And we'll do it based on basically a first come, first serve in those categories for now. And then we'll ask that those people, because it is summer travel, we will ask that they come together, probably the September board meeting, to be able to present to the board the outcome of the travel, just so that they're here to be able to share that information.
Okay. What is important though too is to grab the information and put it into the studies.
Back into the system.
Put it right in the curriculum, yeah.
Thank you.
All right. Number 2, portrait of graduate.
Yeah, so when I took over as superintendent in 2019, 3 of you were on the board. And one of my goals was to work on a portrait of a graduate for our district. And then we closed. And portrait of a graduate is a wide grab. Like, you have to have community members, parents. And when I say community members, people that aren't associated with Apple Valley Unified School District, but are local businesses, parents, students, staff. And then what it creates is a portrait. It looks like, many of us have them of our children where they did the outline of them. But this expands it and talks about what a student in this district will look like when they cross our stage. And in some cases, a year later, what we expect for them to have access to. And so as we look at visioning, because we have a very robust mission, we have our values, we have not moved to a vision statement or a vision. This could accomplish that. And we could spend the next couple of years working on that with a goal of having it done at the end of next school year. So giving it a couple of years because of the people that would need to be involved. And then you as a board would have to approve it for it to be established as our portrait of a graduate.
Will you give us updates as you're building onto this portrait, so
Yeah.
that we'll have an idea as we travel?
Yeah, there isn't a cost to it other than time. We certainly can work with the company to do it, but they give you the resources. The resources are out there. We can move forward with those. The biggest issue for us would be giving you updates about where it's coming. Several of our groups that already come together are LCAP, District Advisory Committee, our APAC Committee, African American Parent Advisory, our DLAC, ELAC groups, our student advisory groups. We already have them in. If we can add this as part of what we talk to them about and get support and ideas, then we can bring it together and show you where we're at. Okay.
Okay, and just continue, establish
So
a
we're good?
subpoena process and continuous process, student discipline.
Yes, at the last board workshop, it was recommended that you have a subpoena process. I asked if we needed a policy. The statement was, you don't need a policy, just a process you can follow. My suggestion, since it doesn't have to be all board members and not even a majority of the board, it just has to be a board member that has the authority to then move forward and give an extension as necessary for a continuance, or offer to sign that the subpoena is appropriate because we're compelling somebody to come and testify, which we don't do that often, I will tell you. I do believe you'll see more of the extension issue, continuance, than you will on a subpoena, but anything can happen. My recommendation to the board is that you take 2 members. Typically, I would think the president and the clerk, because those seats rotate. That would mean that there was always somebody, if there was a new clerk to the group,
Yeah.
if I'm moving the seats down, because that's what happens, you move your seats. But then there'd be somebody that had been practicing with it before, and it would always be 2 together. Certainly one could make the decision if somebody was absent, but it would give us the option to always have 2 there and be trained.
Well,
That sounds good.
I hear you, but I think it will make better sense if we have a cover sheet like we always have on all of our decision process, where we have all board members listed.
Okay.
And then when the time comes, if we already have it already signed, and we just date it, and then all of us have given the okay to go ahead. My worry is that if you have one person signing off on it, that one person will not be on the chopping block, and people think that they're the ones that said it and the others didn't say it.
I understand.
So that's where my worry is, that all 5 of us,
That's good.
we happen as a team. One person is not a board, it's all 5 of us. So if all 5 of us say it's okay to go ahead, just get that cover sheet and we'll
All right.
date it and we're done.
I'm
So,
in favor of that.
do we
Otherwise,
need-
We hang separately.
Can I ask a question? I don't think everybody has to sign, you're saying a signed sheet that then the 2 or the 1, would have the authority,
Yeah.
but everybody else's names would be on it. Is that what I'm hearing? So that,
All agree.
so that the subpoena doesn't say Miss Okpara did
Oh, no.
this,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Okay.
We can work through that, I believe. But we would only call 1 or 2 board members. Is it
Yeah,
good, president and
that would
clerk?
work.
We're
That'll
good?
work.
Okay.
Okay,
Thank
Kylie,
you.
do we have any public comments?
We do. We have 2 cards tonight.
Okay, first, Mr. Reyes?
How you guys doing? Last month was my first meeting here, so I apologize if I went over the 3 minutes. I wasn't aware of that.
Okay.
So I'm just here kind of following up on the issue I brought up last month in regards to Mariana Academy not having the proper facilities for PE, kids working out in their clothes. Just want to see if you guys came up with any ideas of what we can do. Work as a team. I'm not trying to ruffle anyone's feathers here. I just want to accomplish something for the kids at Mariana, because it's not fair, like I told you last time, for them to be working out in their clothes. It wouldn't be fair for you guys to go run a mile right now and then come back in your ties and suits, like I said last time. So I just wanted to see if you guys even discussed it throughout the whole month, see if you guys came up with anything.
We did discuss it. It was brought to our attention, so I'll leave it at that for now. We are in staff working.
Okay, and I'm aware, yeah, and I'm aware of the facilities assessment that's going on, and but that's going to take a while. So I was just trying to figure out something we can do in the near future. So that's why I'm here. Okay, and I'll be here every month. So, okay, thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Next, we have Mr. Javier.
Before I start, I just want to let you all know that the combination of Granite Hills and Apple Valley High School won first place for the Happy Trails Parade. Yeah, so thank you very much. And then this is just a personal note. I just want to say thank you very much. Some of you guys already know about the transportation department. If you don't know, they saved my bacon a couple of days, so I'm just going to say thank you so much to our transportation department. They're absolutely wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen of the board and esteemed cabinet, I stand before you with a message of unity, progress, and unprecedented opportunity for our students and cherished school district. Today, I spotlight the anticipated arrival of Prop 28 funds. Great Academy is at the forefront, collaboratively working with Peter Sellis and Allison Frenzel at CDE to administer these resources effectively as a model technical demonstration site for the California Department of Ed. This influx isn't merely a financial windfall, but a golden opportunity to amplify the quality and reach of education, specifically with the Visual and Performing Arts Coordinator. In a world rapidly evolving where creativity and innovation are paramount, we have both a challenge and an extraordinary opportunity to nurture and elevate every nascent artist, musician, dancer, and actor in our schools. To illustrate the transformative potential awaiting us, let me share two compelling examples. First, our capstone student at the recent Future of Music Summit weren't merely attendees, but ambassadors of our esteemed education, character, and innovation Great Academy fosters. They left engaged and left indelible impressions upon representatives from industry giants like Disney, Netflix, TikTok, Dolby, and Spotify. I too received an acknowledgement at the summit. While humbling, I see this recognition as a testament of our joint efforts, the unwavering support of board and cabinet, the spirited endeavors of our educators, my principal, and our CTE coordinator, and Chris, who is her secretary, and the boundless potential of our students. The second significant milestone is the generous donation of the AMC movie theater to the town of Apple Valley. This gesture underscores the profound impact of the performing arts, galvanizing community support and hinting at the latent potential of transforming it into a vibrant hub for artistic expression facilitated by the Great Academy. In this context, the role of a VAPA coordinator becomes not just relevant, but essential. Beyond administrative duties, this position will serve as a nexus harmonizing and elevating arts education from elementary to high school and ensuring our curriculum is not just comprehensive, but transformational. Numerous studies corroborate the unparalleled cognitive communal benefits emanating from robust arts programs. As we anticipate the Prop 28 funds, let's envision them as seeds sown for a future where creativity and education converge, illuminating uncharted paths of opportunity and communal enrichment. In unity, there's underlying strength. Creativity ushers in unfettered freedom, and education resides in the promise of a future where boundaries are not just pushed, but reimagined. We're not just shaping students, we're sculpting the future of our community and by extension, our society. With Prop 28 funds as our catalyst and a dedicated VAPA coordinator as our navigator, let's embark on this transformative journey. I'm asking for your support. I pledge to return back in November, fortified with additional insights and commitments to this noble endeavor. We hope you will stand with us to make this a reality for all of Apple Valley. Thank you very much.
All right, any final comments? Superintendent Nelson?
Yeah, we are familiar with the monies that are coming. We just don't have the regulations yet. And so we can't do anything until we have those regs because we commit money to things that they won't allow us to do. We would have a problem. But we will watch for those coming. And I know that it's positive and powerful for our students in this district that we are going to be receiving these monies.
Okay, any final board comments? Rick? No. Amanda?
I forgot to turn the page last time.
What's that mean?
It means like it's fast. Okay, congratulations to Maria. She received an award on Saturday night for uplifting our local community at the inaugural AKA Alpha Kappa Alpha Evening Under the Stars Black Tie Sneaker Gala. And I will say it was actually probably the best black tie gala ever because I came home and my feet were not sore and they were not cold. So that's like the first time ever.
That's cool. All right, thank you. Gary?
Nothing further.
Maria?
I got to say thank you to the students at Phoenix Academy. I just turned my card and they are signed by the students. And these are priceless. I go out to the store and I buy a frame so that I can have it, it's on both sides, so I can see the signatures and the thank you of You Rock. Thank you so much to the students at Phoenix Academy. That's it.
Okay, thank you. Students and staff, enjoy the break. If there's nothing else, go here, approve the recommendation of the administrative hearing chairperson effective immediately on expulsion case number 1, 2023-24. Have a motion? Move it. Second?
I second it. Expulsion case number 1, 2324 be expelled to San Bernardino County Superintendent of Schools, Community Schools for the remainder of the 2023-2024 fall semester. Student is to complete the terms and conditions of the rehabilitation plan prior to the end of the 2023-2024 fall semester.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Expulsion case number 11.
I move.
Second?
Okay, in expulsion case number 112223, we are to vacate the expulsion.
We did.
All
We
in-
we already did that.
Then vote.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Approve the certificated and classified personnel actions as listed. Motion?
So moved.
Second? I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Approve the recommendations for requested leave as noted. Motion?
Mr. Bender, because this item includes a relative of mine, I'm going to abstain from voting so as
Okay.
to avoid the appearance of a conflict of interest.
That's smart. Thank you. All right, a motion?
I move.
I'll second. All right, Amanda seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Consent agenda is a long one. In order to expedite things, we can approve it all, 1 through 29. Do I have a motion to do that?
So moved.
Second? All right, Rick seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Then I'll entertain a motion to, vamonos, adjourn.
I move.
Second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you for coming. Thank you. Yeah, we know that's a problem.
You got it in. You got it in. Yeah, yeah. He's skilled. He's skilled.
No, you know what? I used